Hey, welcome to the grapevine. Things getting weighted down here pretty good. I'll show you that. This is a longer video. I'm sorry. That's what a garden tour is, I guess. But this isn't just a tour. This is gardening successes and failures. So hopefully you can learn some stuff from me, just like I've learned from you guys. I appreciate your support too this year. It's been really fun. I will note I've gotten to 220. Really wasn't my objective. It just kind of happened. I do watch videos when I watch them, so if I haven't come by your place lately, it's because I can't watch everything. I really don't want this channel to get humongous. I'm just here to learn stuff and share what I know. Anyway, let's check this grapevine out first. Just showing you, I was shooting right out of there. You can see this vine so heavy loaded this year. These bunches, this is an interesting bunch right here. See, it's got a lot of little tiny ones and then this. And something else that's going on. Maybe my grape experts out there can give me a clue. I wasn't looking for that particular deformity. This stuff. Oops, sorry. Very, very peculiar. I don't know if that was too much water at once. Rotting. Started to ripen and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I don't spray. I don't use a lot of chemicals on my property. I use some Sevens dust, which I'll show you in a second. You can see right there, got some birds already hitting on it. Hopefully we can get some of this to stay. Again, no chemicals, you never know. There's some interesting deformities in here. But boy, we had a lot of rain, so that was good for it, I guess. Maybe it had too much rain. The other main fruit we have in play this year is out of play already. This is an early drop. This is a Bruce Plum, and it's an early drop. Did a video on it earlier about how to prune them, and I've let this one get too wild. I need to prune it back so it produces more. This was part success, part failure. We got about 3 dozen. Squirrels probably had at least another 2 dozen. But for this tree, that's not a bountiful year. I'll just put it that way. Barely modest year, I guess you'd say. But she is old, so I'm going to prune her back at the end of the season. We'll see what we can do with it, see if we can get it producing some more for next year. And if it doesn't, these things take 3 to 5 years to produce. I may have waited too long to plant the next tree. Yeah, that's right. I guess most people realize that. Some people may not realize that, though. You get in the garden, especially with the perennials, your planting is over years, not months and weeks. So I dropped the ball on that. I should have had a tree going already. All right, successes. Uh-oh, it's a lemon balm going to flower. We're gonna have to, and that's oregano. This stuff is chest high. That's about, I guess, 3.5, 4 foot at the top. So we got a mess of oregano, a mess of lemon balm. That's thyme down there in bloom. That's the lemon thyme, and then English thyme on the left. And then 2 rosemaries. So this is kind of what I was just talking about. That rosemary right there is the 2nd year that we've been hitting on a bit. This one is the 3rd year. You can see it's gotten real woody. So we're gonna dry that out too. And you can see I've let this dead looking thing is a 2nd year parsley. I'm gonna try to salvage some seeds, but also you can get to the root, the 2nd year root of a parsley, if you didn't know that. Last time we did it, we weren't real successful in using it, so we're gonna have to do some studying. If you got any tips on that, let me know. Okay, now, one of the oldest projects this year is this tripod that turned into a quad pod. Little technique for you. Find one with a split a little more. Okay, and I couldn't find my daggone tape, my duct tape. I need to tape that up like a splintered baseball bat. So it gets weight on it. I don't want it splitting and everything collapsing. Anyways, I got 2 pole beans there. Sorry, I was thinking what type they were. I think those are Blue Lakes. And I had a failure. Okay, the beans went, and my cucumber seeds did not. Had no cucumber seeds come up. And there's a new seed here to go with this single pole bean. Okay, that's dill. The tallest looking weed is not a weed, that's dill. All right. Then up front, these are two Carolina hybrid cucumbers. Got a late start because I had to get new seed. So a little behind on the cucumbers I planted, but I'll show you something here when we get to the other garden. I do have some cucumbers in play. And then that's a brand new 4-day that was in the ground for 4 days and popped up. That's another pole bean. So the three of these will climb together, and then we'll run that bean and cucumber experiment. And if this one pops up, we'll have 2 experiments. On the back, I didn't realize it till this year, but the back of this bed has become more shaded over the years. I've been gardening in here since 2003. Even this dogwood right there has spread a bit, and that tree, that's a crepe myrtle. Yeah, we don't murder our crepe myrtles. We let them grow like a tree. They're the best tree, by the way. Crepe myrtle is one of the best shade trees you can put in your yard. It's not really a threat to your house. Provides ample shade. We keep a swing under that tree. It's nice and cool. 5, maybe 10 some days cooler under that tree. And then that thing over there has come up. It doesn't do much, but if you look on the horizon, those trees have come a bit. So anyway, that's all that matters. I'm not sure this area is even getting to 6 anymore, which would make it partial shade. It might as the summer goes on, but right now, well, you can see the difference. These beans here are younger than that one. And that one got to almost a foot and stopped. Okay, all of these beans in here are just not getting enough sun, which is unfortunate because that's a nice little trellis we manufactured. But we do have some kind of success back here, I guess. These are the pumpkins. I tossed a pumpkin in this trench last November, and then it got tilled in with the amendments made this year. And I think I left 6. They're starting to stretch a little bit. I'm just hoping they keep searching for the sun and move on out. And over there, another interesting story. This Swiss chard is not as stressed out as the other 2 that I was showing Sunday. You can see that it's being eaten upon by something, but obviously you can't put 7s on a leafy green because you're going to eat it. Anyway, the point is it's in the shade, so it's not getting that 8 to 9 hours, so it's not as stressed out yet. So sort of success. These beans, not enough sun. And then back over to this bed. That hole there is where I'm going to put my Swiss chard transplant. I might bring them both over here just to get them back. This backside will stay more shaded. Should get about 6 hours, 5 to 6. I want to make a comment though. I keep getting a hard time about my amending clay. I had a random thing the other day, and it's like, you know, I'm not sure what to tell you. This was when I moved here. You couldn't garden here. You could not garden here. It's pure clay. You can still see the clay that still comes up. Okay, all I've done, cow manure and pine bark, years and years and years and years. You still see a little bit of red in there, obviously, but that's nothing compared to what it was. I don't know why people hate that video. It gets a lot of hits, but I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, go back and look at my zucchini that was in here last year. We're talking county winter size plants. I just don't know what to tell you. It works if you have time. Now, that's in the video. If you're not watching the whole thing, I guess you missed that. This right here That's called Permatil. Yeah, you can get that stuff and mix it in if you want to go fast. But the point of the video was about money. I mean, you can spend a lot of money, immediately change any kind of soil. Good Lord, any fool should know this. Anyway, now that we're on this hill, look at that. 4 days. Now, there's 3 in here, 2 popped. That's that Dutch squash that Danny sent me. This is going to be fun if I can keep those guys alive. And I have, because I had so much problems with the failure part this year, I have resorted to, I'm putting down 7s as soon as they come up to give them a chance, because I can't have any more failure. I try to go completely organic, but sometimes you just can't. Anyway, back to this squash. It gets up, I'll have to tree it. There's a 3rd one in the middle, and there's 2 over there. So far I got 2 for 5, which, according to Danny, you only need 1 of those plants anyway. So we'll see. All right, let's head over to the other one. And thank you so much if you're still watching. I know these things get long, but it's really the only way to do it. Before we get to that garden, I want to show you my little patio area too. All right, for those who've been following all year, that's that little tomato plant that was growing out of the sidewalk in the west garden. Put it in a pot, and I might have to put it in a 5-gallon. Or not, I might just like stop the stem, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's determinate or indeterminate. I have no idea what it is until it fruits. But I might just stop it and just have like a little toy tomato. I don't know. Yeah, we put out some color. I need to deadhead the peonies. Oh, people were talking the other day too about videos and numbers and hits. I got a video. What did I call that thing? When do peonies bloom? And it's a minute long. I made it with iMovie. It was during the week I was trying to put a video out every day of the week just to see what happens. And so I made it with iMovie. And the thing about that video is there are no blooming peonies. They're still in bulb stage. So it's like, not now. The video is they don't bloom now and they won't rebloom. And just by the way it's titled, gets a lot of hits. I mean, it's not got 1,000 yet, but it's probably 300, 300, which, you know, I mean, if you're putting up videos like me, let's say you have 200 followers. If you're putting up videos and getting 40 hits, that's a 20% view rate. That's pretty good. If you look at the big boys with loads of numbers and just run that percentage of followers to views, unless they're really, really good, what you'll notice is like 5%. For them, a good rate is 10%. So this when do peonies bloom is well over 100% compared to my subscriber base. So, and you can search it. It's being found by YouTube search. You can do your data analytics, I mean, and you can see where it's coming from. Anyway, back to the garden. Got some basil, backup basil, and some sage. I just wanted to separate that this year. And I don't, this is all from seed. I'm not impressed with that sage. I might have to go buy a sage plant, unfortunately. And these are eggplants. They all started in little seedling trays, and I've moved them along. In fact, I've left 2. You don't get to see my nasty patio. I'm just so busy. Look at this grass. Good Lord. Oh, there's another failure. We'll get to that in a second. So yeah, everything started like that, and I've got 7, 2 there, and then 5 more in pots. This is a Pollinator Bucket. I got 2 of them, one here and one over by the herb garden. Just wildflowers. I have no idea, so don't ask me in comments what this is, because I don't know. It's that wildflower mix you get, you just toss it. So these will bloom and hopefully bring in a lot of insects and pollinators. This finally got to it. Boy, when she got hot, and you can see I haven't weeded in there in a while either, but that is the watercress. Yep. So Here's something you can learn. You can grow it in full sun as long as you got to be a little bit more north than I am, because it's been really hot around here and it's just baked this watercress. Absolutely. So, just so you know, I couldn't eat that anyway. I had to spray this thing for termites right after I planted it. But now I know, when I get watercress, it ain't going there. And what's a video from the garden without sirens? I think CB said to me one day, glad they weren't coming for you. All right, and thanks so much if you're still watching. I imagine most of you are gone by now. That's fine. But I'm not chopping this one up and making it move quick and all that good stuff just to keep eyeballs on the screen. This is for people that are interested. I apologize for the police department, the fine individuals in blue doing their job. I guess that would, yeah, no, that's not a fire engine. That's police. Hard to say what they're up to. Anyway, hills and zucchini. I was just talking to Miss Molly, I think this morning, and she had tested out my technique. She left one flat and one on a hill. She said the one on the hill is twice as big. So, anyway, I always do squash on hills. Can't even, you know, it's obviously got something to do with drainage and your roots and all that good stuff, but I can't even remember why and when I started doing that. It's just always been part of what I've done. So I am an older feller. Anyway, that's zucchini, man. Look at that. Yep, it's got 7s on it. 7s. I had to. As I said earlier, I don't like to use chemical. I really don't. But had so many issues this year. I have no choice. This is crookneck. Okay, there's another volunteer tomato. Why I left him in there, I don't know. I had plenty of tomatoes. Yep, I never did get to moving this stuff. When I got back to it yesterday, it was wilted pretty good. This is the middle of the day. The next day, you can see a little bit of wilt, but I mean, these babies were laying down, so they got to get in the shade if they're going to have a chance to live much longer. Anyway, there's I think that company's called Papa Joe's. I guess I shouldn't have mentioned that. I'm not particularly impressed with their peppers. That's a jalapeno, and that's garden salsa. I will say this about that garden salsa. We've already pulled, and that's a short little dude. We've already pulled about 8 peppers off of this thing. They're shaped kind of like cayennes, but they're not that hot. In the middle there, again, that tallest thing's not a weed. That's actually parsley from seed. Yep. This is the other Papa Joe's pepper. It's a California Wonder or Wonderful. I think it's a Wonder F1. We pulled a a very nice pepper off of that yesterday and ate it. But you'll notice there's no additional blooms. And again, it's not particularly tall, especially for, it's not going to get that tall in a pot, but it should be taller than that, in my opinion. Of course, I've never grown them, so I don't know. But I do know that peppers should have more than one bloom. I guess I shouldn't have mentioned that company. It's not like me. I don't like to pick at things. That was a total mistake. But it's there now. I might edit it out. Anyway, here's the okra experiment. And again, thank you for watching. I know this is long, but that's the way this is going to go. These babies right here, those were the ones that I had in a egg carton. I swear I did. There's ones that have little tags on the ground. Those were seeds straight to the ground. And then these 4 back here were in seed trays. Then of course I got that vining weed coming up, and that is a pokeweed. I got so much work to do. I was so busy last week, and where I live, this is only about a week later. It does not take long where I live when it heats up and you're living in a jungle. Everything, you know, you can't kill nature. It all wants to live. We call it a weed. It doesn't know it's a weed. It's trying to live. So I do need to get this stuff under control. I just had to get a mosquito off of me that bit me, son of a gun. Anyway, okra's going well. 16 in here. That'll be plenty. All right, now what some people have commented on and been interested in are these things. This is that triple L tomato. And I've got plans. I'm gonna try to train these things. They say they get 20 foot. I don't know, never grown them. I got 3 back there, 3 up here. That's a twin tower right there. And then a 7th one in a pot. Okay, so I got 1 running in a pot. At 1, 2, 3, 4 running straight to the ground. And then 2 more in the ground that are twin towers. Okay, 2 plants that I didn't separate. So really, I got a nice little experiment going here. And if it all fails, well then I will never use this again. There we go. We shall see. All right, and then you might remember a little bit planting these cubanelles back here. They're up to a nice foot, starting to flower well. And then my pepper patch. We've been eating off of this. You can see some of it in there. I can't see the screen from the glare, so I'll just keep moving it. But there's some banana peppers there. We've been having banana peppers. And then this is a big Bertha. We've had plenty of those already. So this little spot, and if you're new here, it's like, man, that stuff's tight. Well, that's the channel, Small Space Gardening. I try to max as much as I can. I cheat a little, tighten things up, and off we go. All right, now down to volunteer style. Okay, once you get inside of these peppers, cubanelles, everything else is volunteer, like that pepper and that tomato plant came up exactly where they're at. And pull this back. Ta-da! This is a Sweet 100. Cherry tomatoes. Yep, and it appears that this one might be as well. Not sure quite yet. And this one might be as well. So I might have a volunteer row of Sweet 100s, which would be great. I'm glad, because I didn't buy any of that this year from a nursery. This is a volunteer cucumber plant that I was hoping to be a bush, but it's not. So that means it's a Carolina hybrid. That's what I had in here last year. And you can see it's wanting to tie off on this stake to the tomato, which I don't want. I want it on this wood rail. Then I'll bring it back this way, and then I'll bring it up vertically. But I've taken it off that stake 3 times already. Believe it or not, I've had this vine on this side of the stake, and it has come back to the other side of that tomato overnight. I didn't realize cucumbers move that much at night, but good God, they sure do. You can see a lot of blooms in there. This one, okay, another cucumber plant, did train well. You can see blooms. There's a lot of little baby cucumbers in there. So thank goodness I got some volunteer cucumbers, because the seeds I was planting just didn't work out. And that's a little tight volunteer pepper patch. My guess is it's a lot of cayenne, but it's hard to say. We had 3 or 4 varieties of pepper last year. And then this baby, again, if you've been watching the whole time, this was one of those gambles. This is a celebrity, and I gambled on it and damn near killed it because of that crazy weather. And then I replanted it back here, and it's up to 3 foot, so it's doing okay. Step around. And that's a Cherokee, although skin got deformed from another blossom that rotted on top of it, which I didn't catch in time. It's got plenty of blooms. I might let this get up another foot, but the problem is aphids. I don't see any now, but I have to come out here with my toothbrush and play with the aphids, because again, I don't like to use chemicals. I do use an organic mix sometimes, organic soap and lemon, but I found that the toothbrush works pretty well if you have time to do it that way. There's a little one right there. Okay, failure. As soon as I put that eggplant seedling in and seeds, it rained for 11 days straight, and I suppose rotted those seeds right in the ground. All right, and then the 4-square tomato bed. Again, I was talking to, I think, Jenna about this. I said, you really want it 3 instead of 2. Okay, the plants are 2 foot away from each other. You can get in there. If you're a bigger person, you can't. But I made it 2 by 2 because, again, this is a small space and I'm trying to max as much as possible. And so these are the celebrities and these are the Cherokees. And again, my main task over here has been dealing with the aphids, a little bit of pruning, keep some air going through the bottom, which is necessary. My beets, I'm not giving up on them yet, but pretty much failure on the beets. The radish was incredible this year. I left this one here to try to pull some seed out of it. But yeah, that's the west bed. I need to trim that Swiss back there and move these 2. And then that will pretty much be it until we get towards the cool season, and we'll start transitioning back to a cool season gardening, or a cool season garden. Well, I'm sorry that was so long, but that's the way it's got to be if I'm going to show the whole thing at once. I did leave out my blackberries. You can catch that video. It's not much to show. They're there. I'm looking over there right now and I can see the sunshine. It's partial over there. Anyway, thanks for watching all of that. And just a side note, especially if you started following me lately, those beds were full of cool season stuff, lettuce and cabbage, Swiss chard, of course. I had radish running in all kinds of directions. And that would be in the north trench, and the west garden had the broccoli and collard greens. So, you know, we have to transition. We don't dedicate like this is the cool season bed and this is the warm season. We use them both and just keep things moving. So when that stuff starts playing out in both of these beds, we'll have to reverse the process. In the 7B Carolina zone we're in, we've got 3 seasons. We've got the cool, the warm, and the cool again. And also in the fall, you know, that's really when you want to plant some things like leeks in particular. Probably will put some strawberries down, but I got to find a place for that. I think it'll be over by the grapevine. Anyway, that's where we stand in June of 2020. It's not, I will say this, I remember June last year, got another week off, and my everything in the west garden was larger. I need to go back and look at that video. I think it's about 2 weeks away from now. So this past spring did have an impact on growth rates where I live anyway. I'm talking tomato plants that were like 6 foot tall. Eventually the Sweet 100, you know, got up 6 foot and rolled across the top of everything else. So it was really more like 12 foot. It was really, really packed over there. You could hardly walk through it. Had beans off to the north trench. They weren't in play in June the way everything else was. But yeah, I have noticed making this video, thinking back about last June, that I'm pretty much behind. And I blame Mother Nature. You guys be good. We'll see you next time. Oh, probably won't do a Thursday show this week since this one's so long. Might even take Sunday off. It's just, it's hard to keep up with everybody's everything. I need to spend some time watching more stuff and getting more tips anyway. Plus, I got a lot of work to do.